All right, I think everything is set to go. I'll wait a few more minutes for more people to come in, and we'll get started, guys. How you guys doing today? Carlo and Richard and James and Rana, how you guys doing today? I am doing awesome. When I was out of town, yeah, I was out of town and I I learned a lot about myself. I went out of town for I guess for a meeting with my business coach, and I realized more stuff about myself, and so it's pretty it's different, and it's good to be back. How you guys doing? Any deals? Oh, you know what I'll do? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start out the webinar with I'm gonna start out the webinar with this video, and hopefully this will inspire you guys a little bit from a Guys, my name's Patrick Stinsel. I just went through 10 eyes for course in REO wholesale. I've never done an REO wholesale before, but Tim and I just actually put together my first deal, and Tim wanted me to talk a little bit how I was able. Can you guys hear it fine? The volume's kind of low. Let me see if there's a way to increase the volume anymore. Oh, that's it. Max. All right, well. Okay. All right, well, you guys can't hear. Let's see if there's a better way. Oh, well. If you can't hear, then we'll just won't do it. Let me just send the link to you guys then. Check the chat. I sent a chat to you guys, and for the link, if you want to go and check that out. The testimonial from Patrick Schwinzel about his first deal. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to this week's coaching webinar. Of course, I am your host, Tim Mai. Today's topic is on is on the 4 most important components of REO investing, and we are going to talk more specifically about cash buyers today, how to find them, where to find them, things of that nature. And so, well, let's get started here. I think we have quite a bit of people in already, so we should be good to go. All right. I want to begin today's lesson with sharing with you guys about the foreclosure process and what happens in a foreclosure, and how the deals comes about being an REO or bank-owned property. And REO stands for real estate owned, by the way, if you guys didn't know that. When a homeowner start to fall behind on their payments, and typically
about 3 months. If they, once they fall about 3 months behind on their payments, the mortgage company will transfer their files to the foreclosure department, which then the foreclosure attorney will start the foreclosure proceeding process. And in that time frame, the house is still considered as a pre-foreclosure, meaning the homeowner still owns it. Okay, and at about 5 to 6 months is when the bank will actually start the auction process, I guess, or the foreclosure process, where they're going to auction it off at the courthouse. That normally happens about 5 to 6 months after they are late on their payments. And up until the time that the house goes on auction, for example, here in Texas is a our foreclosure process is that we foreclose on the first Tuesday of every month, regardless, what days it lands on, whether it's a holiday or Christmas or New Year, it doesn't matter. If it's a first Tuesday of the month, then there's going to be a foreclosure. Okay, and so at the auction, okay, at the auction, the homeowner gets a chance to reinstate the loan all the way until the time that the trustee begin the auction off of that specific house. And once that auction is over, the homeowner will no longer have the chance or the ability to reinstate the loan at that time. Okay, so they have to do it prior to that, or else they won't have that chance anymore. And once the auction is over, two things can happen. Either there was a buyer there that bought the property at the auction. If not, if there was no buyer, then the bank would have gotten it back. So then the bank will now becomes the owner of that property. Okay, and once the bank foreclose on the property, then it is now called a bank-owned property. And if it's a HUD property, then it will be called a HUD property. If it's a VA, veteran, then it'll be a VA property. Okay, the Veteran Administration property. So so it depends. If it's an FHA type loan, for example, on that property, where FHA insures the loan, then after the bank foreclose on it, our government pays the bank 82% of the BPO amount for that property, and then the government will own the property, which is called a HUD property. And if it's a VA loan, if it's a VA guarantee loan, then VA will pay the bank whatever is owed on that property. Whatever the BPO amount is for that property, and then VA will get the property back. Okay, and so what are we going to focus mostly on is bank-owned properties and VA properties. Both of those, the process to buy them on the MLS is the same. HUD properties are a little bit different. When HUD properties first come out, for the first couple weeks, they want homeowners to have the ability to bid on them and buy them. And HUD process is a bidding process. It's a little bit different. So we're going to focus our attention on bank-owned properties as well as VA properties, okay? Since both of those processes is very similar. And for HUD properties, unless it needs a lot of repairs, they don't make good properties for us to buy and wholesale. Because like I said, HUD gives the homeowners, not the homeowners, the normal home buyers, the retail buyers, a chance to buy those properties before they open it up to other people. Okay, and the 4 most important aspects of a foreclosure deal is, number 1, the cash buyers. Okay, especially since we are in the business of wholesaling these properties, cash buyers become extremely important. Okay, and the second most important aspect of a successful REO investing is the real estate agents, because the real estate agents are the ones that are going to be bringing us the deals. Okay? And the third most important aspect is the private lenders. Okay, and the fourth most important aspect is how to structure the closing correctly. Okay, how to structure the deal correctly, so that way you make sure. Okay, so that way you make sure that you are going to, you're going to make money on this deal and not have the deal blow up on you because you don't know how to structure it correctly. You don't know how to, double close it, or selling the LLC, or however else that you need to do to assign your interest, or assign your part of the contract over to your buyer, so that way the buyer can can buy it from you. Okay, got it? And so on today's webinar, we are going to focus in on the cash buyers. Okay, dealing with cash buyers and dealing with REOs, we have to kind of work our way backward. We want to find out where is it that our buyers are buying, and we have to know them really well, because we are going to look for properties that are specific to these buyers. Okay, we don't want we don't want properties that that we will not be able to sell to cash buyers. It might it might have some potential for a retail buyer, but if it doesn't meet our, if it's not something our cash buyers are looking for, then it will make it very hard for us to do the deal, because in order for us to sell to retail buyers, we would have to close on the property and then wait for them to get a loan before we can sell it to them. And there's, anytime the buyer's getting a loan, there's a lot of risk involved, and there's a lot of potential for you not be able to, potential for the buyer to back out of the deal because they can't get a loan. And so we want to focus our attention on just cash buyers, and we want to know where is it that they buy. We want to know how much they're willing to pay for the properties. Okay, and we want to know how they're funding the deals. We want to know how much repairs they're comfortable with. Okay, so we want to know all of these things, so that way we can go look for properties that are specific to them. Okay, and I'm going to share with you how a couple of different ways that we can find cash buyers and have a good idea on where they are buying. Number 1, what we could do, and let me number 1, what we could do is, if you have access to the MLS, or if you have the real estate agents that you're working with that have access to the MOS, they can run they can, oh man, I'm on this computer. I can't go into my MOS so I can show you. Let me try. Hopefully it'll be easy enough for me to do that. I'm gonna try to open up my MOS for you guys to see it. Okay, give me just a second here. But you know, you log into the MOS and you get your real estate agent to run a report for you to find all of the REO listing, REO. Well, it doesn't even have to be REOs. It could just be any property on the MOS that was sold for cash. On here, I'm on a Mac and my MOS doesn't work well on a Mac, so I'm gonna give it a try and see. We'll see. and so so once they give us a report of all of the cash transactions in that in your market area for the last I normally do it for the last year, and you can then you can then look through that and you manually, or you can put into an Excel and you know have it automated for you. But what I would then do is sort by the zip codes to find out which zip codes has the most cash buyers, and those are the ones that and those are the zip codes that I focus in on. And you want to focus in on the top 5 zip codes in your area that has the most cash buyers. Okay, if your area doesn't have a lot of activities, like here in Houston, we have a lot of activities. There's a lot of foreclosures, a lot of homes. So yeah, we only focus in on a few zip codes. If you're in an area where there's not a lot of activities and you need to go beyond the top 5 zip codes, then that's fine too. Okay, you could also do that. Okay. Another thing you can also do is look for all of the wholesale deals in your area. Okay, and find out where all of these wholesale deals are at, what zip codes they are in, because there's a high chance that those wholesalers are investors who specialize in in finding properties and then sell it to landlord buyers and cash buyers. And so they normally go and look and find properties and market to properties in the area that they know that that they can find buyers. And so by finding the wholesale deals and finding out what zip codes they are, those properties are in, will also give you a good idea on where you can find cash buyers, or where cash buyers are buying in your area as well. Okay, and let me see if my MLS is up yet. Okay, cancel that one. Let me log in. Hold on real quick here. Let me log in so you guys can see. Now every market area is a little bit differently, but every MOS is a little bit different. Open this up for you. So I'm logged into my MOS here. So I'm going to go into Temple. And I have set up a I have set up a custom search, and let me go here. And so, oh, hold on. Let me go to my custom search here. Oops. Cash sales. Okay. And so in my MOS, you see what this has its terms. Okay. This is called closing terms, meaning how they bought the property or how the property was closed. And so I select cash here. Okay. And let's say I don't select any specific zip code. And so I'm gonna do July here. If there's a lot, I might have and then I'm gonna do sold. Okay. I don't care if it's a foreclosure or not, but if I care about a specific foreclosure, then I can select in on just foreclosure. But I don't really care. I just want all cash transactions. Okay, all cash transactions. And I know that if I'm gonna search it, I'm gonna have a lot of results. And so you see, there's over 11,482 results here. You see how that is shown here. Okay. And so I would have to export that list and into an Excel file. But just for the sake of this example, I'm just going to show you whatever they display here on the screen. Right? And so you have the sold price, all the way down to look $5,400. It must be like it could be a mobile home or something. Let me see what it is. It's a 1,500. Let me see here. Must be something wrong. Looks like a good-looking house. Can't be sold for 4,900. So there might be a mistake here. Somebody might have the agent might have put in the sales price wrong or the sold amount wrong. It's sold pretty quick. Okay, I see. That's wow. It was 4,900. What kind of house is that? That's cheap. It sold just in June. Just a few. Look, it just closed yesterday for $5,400. No way. What kind of house is this? No access available. Very poor condition. It looks good to me. What makes it such a poor condition? Oh, there's a fire damage inside. Look, let's read the description here. That's why it's so cheap. No access available. Very poor condition due to interior fire. Interior info estimate. No description. Title. Let me see here. That's a heck of a good deal. Look at this house. I mean, the front of the house looks good. I don't know how bad the fire damage is, but it doesn't look very bad from the outside. And you can buy this for only $5,400. Wow, it's a heck of a good deal. So there you go. Here's a deal that I missed. Right, I could have bought this one. Man. All right. But the point here is that you're going to export this list out, and you're going to sort it to find out what zip code is it that all of these cash buyers are buying in. All of these cash buyers are buying in, okay? And like I said, if you are, depending on your market area, if you're in a market area like mine, where, if you're in a market area like mine where there's a lot of properties here, then I farm only like, the top 5 zip codes. But if you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of properties, then you might focus in on more zip codes than just 5. Okay. And also too, all of these agents that has these cash buyers, you can depending on the spread that you have, you can also work with these agents whenever you have a property for sale, or you can go and check on the county clerk's record directly and find out who these buyers are that bought these houses. Find out who they are, and make them an offer. I mean, and contact them and see if they would be interested in buying your property. Now, like this first property that we looked at, they just closed on it yesterday, and so the tax record's not going to show their name on the tax record yet. But if we go to an older date, for example, let's go to this one. Let me see if this is an older date or not. Let me see when it was closed here. This one closed in November of 2009. So chances are the tax records would already reflect. Okay. Would already reflect them. And so if I click on the county appraisal district here, I will look further down, and it tells me here the owner is John McPhail and Rhonda McPhail. And so there's a high possibility that these folks might be interested in buying more properties. Okay, and so if you have a property for sale in this area, you can contact them. So you can do that for all of these cash buyers. Okay. You go back to, it takes, depending on your market area too, like here in Houston, it takes a couple weeks at least before the county appraisal district will update who the new owner is. And so if they, if they bought the property a month or so ago, then we should be good to go. And and if they haven't bought the property that long yet, then we'll just have to wait to find who they are. Okay. Ronald asked here, how do you find the top 5 zip codes using the MOS? Yeah, Ronald, what you would do is you would export. Okay, you would export this whole list here, and let me go back for you to let me go back to revise search here. So instead of displaying it, what I could have done is I could click on download here, and it will allow me to download all of the download all of the properties. See, in my MOS it limits me to 1,500 only, but there were over 11,000. So what I would do is I would do the dates. So let's say I would do the last 3 months, and then I go back and do from 3 to 6 months, and then 6 to 12 months, just to get the numbers down to where it can fit in my so if I do the last 3 months, that would be, let's say, from March 2009. Oh, hold on. I meant March 2010, not 9. Okay, it's still over 4,000. See, just in the last 3 months alone in my MLS, just in the last 3 months alone, there are over 4,000 cash transactions. So there's a lot of cash transactions going on out there right now. So I would have to filter this down some more to keep the numbers down to be 1,500 or below, and just do it little by little and sort it out. Or you can just, depending on your area, you're gonna adjust this accordingly, of course. Okay, if you don't have as many transactions as we do here in Houston, then you'll be able to download this in just one shot. But in our case, where we have a lot of properties, we have a lot of cash transactions, then I would have to break this up so I can download it all. And then so I would download it all to an Excel file, and then I would sort that Excel file by the zip codes, so that way I can then calculate, how many cash transactions there are in each of those zip codes, and from there I will be able to then find out which one is my my top 5 that has the most cash transactions. And it looks to me like, let me see, yeah, right. So that's that's one really easy way for you to find where all of the cash buyers are buying in your market area, and you'll be able to find out what type of properties they are buying, how much they're buying it for. I know you look at some of these prices and you're like, wow, Houston prices are cheap, huh? I think that's because this MLS software sorted me by the lowest price to the highest price, and so it's just showing me all the cheap ones first. But if it allows me to show, let me go just to back in the last month. Let me go just from June, for example. Okay, let me filter this out some more, so that way I won't have so much return, so you guys can see it better. All right, so I filter out just in the month of June, and only for the foreclosure properties, bank-owned properties. There are over 427 transactions, cash transactions, last month in June. Okay, and you see here, some of these prices it goes higher. See, okay, and so you sort all of this and you find out. I mean, the MLS has so much data, so you know exactly like the square footage that these buyers will buy. You find out the price that they'll buy it, and you can even find out. See, this is days on market, right? How fast it took for that house to sell. That tells you how active those neighborhoods are for these for these cash deals. Okay, of course the smaller these numbers, the hotter that neighborhood is. Right, the bigger the number, the not so hot it is. Okay, like let's say this one, it took them 167 days to sell it. That's a long time. Okay? So it might not be the hottest neighborhood. And so there's so much data here that you can study to know everything you need to know about your buyers. Ronald asked, would you have to sort out repeat buyers on your spreadsheet? You don't need to sort out repeat buyers. Just go for the sake of finding the zip codes. Yeah, just wherever that has the most cash transactions, just go with that. You don't need to worry about the repeat buyers yet. The repeat buyers, the only time when you are interested in them, it's when you have a property for sale and you want to, you know that they buy many properties. Like I have buyers here that in Houston that I found where they buy, just in the last 6 months alone, they buy over 5 properties. And so that tells me they're very active buyers. And so I would, I would do more things to contact those people. I would send them a postcard. I would send them a postcard. I would track down their phone number and call them. And I might even have my assistant, drive to their office, even. So it depends on how much I want and need those buyers. All right. Let me get this out of my way. All right. Okay. So the MLS is a great resource for you to find these cash buyers. Another way that you can find these cash buyers is by spying on your competitors. And if you know of wholesalers in your area, and they do a lot of transactions, okay? If you know their name or the company's name, what you could do is you can search the courthouse, such as this courtH.com here. And if you don't have a courtH in your area, if they don't cover your area, then you can go and search directly at the county clerk's office, okay? And yeah, let me log into the members area here so I can show you better. But for example, you're gonna go, let's say I'm in Texas, so I'm gonna click Texas, Harris County, Harris, okay. And I would go to grantor grantee search, okay, and search for the seller's name, okay, for example, one of the wholesalers I know here in town is Brett Phillips, okay. So I would search for all of the deeds. This is just giving you an example here, okay. I would search for all of the warranty deed that was written out from Brett Phillips to whoever else, okay. He's also a rehabber, so he also buys rehab properties also. And so here's one where he sold, and this is kind of old, so this person might not be buying anymore. But here's one where he sold to Christy Godby, okay. And here's another one where he sold to Synergy Real Estate Group, okay. So by seeing that, okay, I can then contact these people, and these would also be my buyers, okay. Another thing you can also do to find buyers as well is a lot of time a lot of landlords and rehabbers when they buy property, they buy it from they buy it and they use IRA money or private money. And so what you could do is you can also search here for like InTrust and Equity Trust are the two biggest IRA custodians for the real estate investing market. And so if you search for, and I'll just search InTrust as an example here. If I search InTrust and then I search the document type is deed of trust for, and depending on your state, this could be a trust deed or this could be mortgage, okay? Or if your state don't even have the ability for you to search by document type, then that's fine. You can just search grantee as InTrust. And what you're going to find is that you're going to find all of the people who borrowed money from IRA accounts to buy properties. So I'm going to go to the newest one first here on page 7. And so, see, look, I told you Brent Phillips is one of the buyers, right? And he borrowed money. And so Brent would be a possible buyer for you as well. Here's another one. Son Travis is another possible one. Eileen Stadlander is a possible one. All of these could be buyers for you. They're not cash buyers in the sense that they pay cash for it, but they use private money, so which is almost as good as cash, and they will also make good good buyers for you. I know Real Wealth is another company that buys a lot of properties in Houston. Chris Funk buys a lot of properties in Houston. So I can be contacting all of these people and sell my houses to them too. Okay. So not only can we use this to search for private lenders, which I'll teach you guys more about that, you know, in not the next class here, but the following class after that. But you can also use this to find all of these buyers who use private money as well. Okay, I just want to show you guys that real quick. So that's how you spy on your competitors. You can also spy on foreclosure trustees as well. You know, if you know of a foreclosure trustee in your market area that foreclosed on a lot of properties, you can search for his name as well on this, you know, with the county clerk's website. If you don't have, if your county clerk's website is not online, then you just have to go down to the courthouse to do it. And since mine's online, I'm able to do it, you know, just like what I'm showing you here. Okay. You can also go down to the auction. For example, you know, for example, hold on real quick here. My son is trying to get my attention. Austin, Daddy has a webinar. You go to mommy. Mommy, help him. Daddy has a webinar. Go to mommy. Okay, sorry about that. And Rosalind, yes, this webinar is recorded, so you can watch the replay. Okay. Well, you're traveling for the holidays already. That's awesome. Okay. And thanks for tuning in there at McDonald's. That's interesting. I've never had anybody watch webinars from McDonald's before. All right. So you can actually go down to the auction, and you know that all of the buyers down at the auction, down at the courthouse there, are cash buyers because there's no other way they can buy properties down there, right? The trustee down there, they only take cash, or no, either cash or cashier's checks. They don't take any no loan or anything like that. Okay, and so when you go down there, You can collect their business cards. You can give them your business cards. If you have a property for sale, you can market to them. Okay. So those are the many ways that you can find these cash buyers. Another thing that you can do is you can call or email landlords as well. Okay. I'll give you an example. When you log into the members area here and you use the instant lead generator, I hope you guys have been playing with it by now, and you select landlord buyers over here, okay, and then select it for your state. There's a lot of landlord buyers. The people who have houses for rent are the people who are in the business of renting properties. And so all of these people here, I can send them an email that says something like, hi, I noticed you have a house for rent. Are you looking for more? Are you looking for more cash flow properties? I have one that I desperately need to sell. Please reply to this email, and I'll send you the proper information. And so they'll reply to your email, which now you have their email address, and you can put them into your buyers list. Okay. Another thing that you can do if you want to add these people to your buyers list, you can also make a more vague. You can also make a more what's the way to call this here? A vague email like this. Hi, I'm emailing about your house for rent. Is it still available? And if you just do a really basic one like that, okay, this basic, hi, I'm emailing about your house for rent, is it still available? They're going to reply to you, right? And they might reply yes, they might reply no, but it doesn't matter. They're going to reply to you. And once they reply to you, you'll be able to have their you'll be able to have their email address to then put on your buyers list there, because if they are in the rental business, there's a very, very high chance that they would be interested in they would be interested in more rental properties, so you can email it to them. But you can also do it like the other way that I talk about too. If you want to, if you do it this way, if you're just asking them, is the property available? Yes, you're going to get their contact information, you're going to get their email address. However, you're going to end up getting too many leads, more leads than you can handle. So it's better if you ask them, are you interested in more rental properties or more cash flow property? Cash flow properties. I have a property. Yes. We need to sell. Hi, I'm emailing about your house for rent. Are you interested in more rental cash flow properties? I have a property I desperately need to sell. Please reply to this email and I'll send you the property information. Okay. Or you can also, if you don't want them to reply to your email, you can also send them to your website. So you can say, please go to our website for more website to get our property information. Okay. So you can send them to your website as well, okay? And so whatever the website is, okay, it's yoursites.com. Okay, you guys got it? In almost every almost every city that you guys look into, there's a ton and a ton of landlords. Like, I mean, just lots and 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 lots of them. Okay, so just just use the instant lead generator and send out an email to them. Got it? Okay. All right. Some of these people that you sending emails to, they might also be management companies as well. Let me go here, and you can also get leads on top of the instant lead generator here. You can also go to landlord buyers leads here. Okay, and you can also contact all of these. Landlords as well. Okay, and build your buyers list, and some of these properties that you're going to be contacting, okay, some of these properties are listed by property management company, and if that's the case, then that's okay. You can let them know. It's like, hey, do you have any landlord that are interested in in buying more rental properties? If you have any, I'll pay you a referral fee for them. Okay, property management companies are great resource, because they are dealing with these landlords on a regular basis, so they know who's buying, they know who's selling, so you can also buy properties from them as well. Okay, and so make sure you so make sure you take advantage of property management companies too. Okay. Okay, Richard asked, how did I bring up the email window? By going to the instant lead generator, and the email window is right here. Okay, instant lead generator. All right. You can also buy lists of cash buyers as well. You can buy lists from RealQuest. You can buy lists from ListSource, or you can buy lists from Kent Clothier. I did a webinar with Kent. If you wanna watch that webinar, where he has database of cash buyers that you can buy and access these cash buyers on a yearly basis. You can also do that as well. So you can go to this website here to do that. Okay. All right. Let's move on here. So once you build up your list of cash buyers, and once you build up your list of cash buyers, whenever you have a property for sale, you're going to email to those buyers your property. Okay. You can also contact other wholesalers as well, and joint venture with them. Say, hey, I have this property. Can you email it out to your cash buyers? And if you can you email it out to your cash buyers? If you do, then I will whatever, split the profit with you, or I'll pay you $1,000 if I sell to one of your buyers, or $2,000, or whatever you want to negotiate with them for. Okay, that's all up to you. I think giving them $1,000 to $3,000 is really good, and some of them will just we'll do it for $1,000. Some of them might want more, so it depends. Or you can just give them the least amount that you're willing to take, and then whatever they sell on top of that, they can keep for themselves. So just like the way that you would approach a wholesaler and negotiate with them for a price, and then mark up that price and sell the property, and then whatever you sell, you keep the difference. Well, you can do the same thing with them. So you give them the lowest number, and whatever they sell on top of that, they get to keep. So it's up to you how you want to structure that. Okay. Once you have a property for sale, make sure you also list it on our website, dodeals.com, under the wholesale deals here. That's where all of the wholesalers also list their properties. So if you want to get in contact with wholesalers in your area, you can also go to our website, Do Deals here, and contact all of these wholesalers as well. Okay. When you go to view details, you'll be able to get the wholesaler's name and contact there. And you're gonna also post it on Craigslist and Backpage and Postlets.com. Postlets is one of those websites that once you post it on their website, they will send it out to like I don't remember how many other websites. I think like 14 different websites or something like that. So that way you don't have to go to every website, and you can post it out there. Post that way. Okay. If you if you belong to any like Google or Yahoo or MSN groups that the subject matter is around what's the word, real estate investing, then you can also send out a notice to those groups and let them know you have a property that you want to sell as well. Okay. If you belong to Facebook group or MySpace group, same thing. Okay. If you belong to like your local REIA group or meetup groups, you can also let them know as well. So this, you want to let everybody know that you have this property for sale. Got it? Okay. You can also put out We Buy Houses ads and We Buy Houses signs as well. We show you what a sign would look like. A sign would look like something like this: fixer upper, cheap cash, value at $100,000, asking $60,000. Your phone number, all right? Handyman special, cheap cash, must sell fast. Okay, you can do any of those things. You can do something similar for if you're gonna run classified ads. If you run classified ads, it's gonna be a lot cheaper for you to run it in your weekly newspapers and not in your daily newspapers. Okay, the daily newspapers are a lot more expensive than the weekly newspapers, and so so sending it to them is running ads with the weekly newspapers is much better. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So your homework for today that I want you to do is I want you to find at least 10 cash buyers that you actually talk to, okay, and find out and find out where they are buying, what type of properties they're buying. You and I know that there are lots and lots and lots and lots of cash buyers out there, and so all you have to do is connect with 10 of them. All right, that's going to be your homework for this week. So I'm going to go to question and answers now. All right. So who have a property that you are currently started to sell now? Perhaps it's a property from another wholesaler, or a property that that you might have found. I know, James, you found a property, right, James? You got a property that has a lot of potential, and now you looking for ways to sell the property. Is that correct? All right. You guys, you guys have any questions for me? All right. Roland said, I had a property. However, after detailed analysis, I decided that I was offering too much. So good job, Roland. I'm glad that you started and made the first offer. That's awesome, buddy. That's really, really good. So now all you have to do, Roland, is go back and renegotiate the price. All right? It doesn't hurt for you to go back and renegotiate the price if you had offered too much. Carlo said, I have two for sale. Good job, Carlo. What type of properties are these, Carlo? Are they from other wholesalers, or are these the ones? Okay, let me see here. I have one owner finance and one hotel. Oh, okay, so you're selling it to a retail buyer. Gotcha. Are they your own property, Carlo, or is it from another wholesaler? And Roland said, I have to get another $10,000 off. And that's fine, Roland. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? You can negotiate another $10,000 less than whatever you offer them initially. Right. Richard said, my IO broker wants to contact my hard money lender before he shows any properties to me. What do I do? That's fine, Richard. What you could do is you can, just get a, you can get a proof of funds letter from the due deals cash funding, and it'll have all of the contact information, and so they can call that. So let me go back to our website here and go to due deals cash funding here. Okay. Just filled out request for a proof of funds letter, and on that proof of funds will have all of their contact information that the IO broker can call. Okay. Have you found yourself any private lenders yet, Richard? They can also contact your private lenders as well. Roland said, I was negotiating 2 IO properties with an IO agent, and they were both sold out from under me before I could finalize the sales price. Yeah, that's how it is with these IOs, Roland. You gotta act quick, man. There's plenty of times when we lose a deal because we're an hour late. And so yeah, you do have to act pretty quickly on these IOs. But I'm so glad that you are actively looking for these properties and making offers on them. That's really awesome. Larry Hall said, I have made 5 offers to purchase. 2 were already under contract to others. Do I wait until an offer is accepted before actively looking for cash buyers? Also, is there an average time it takes to get an offer accepted? There's really no average time that it takes to get an offer accepted. You just got to keep on making offers, that's all. Depending on the agent, how long it takes for them to some agent move faster and some agent move slower. Okay, and the properties that you made offers that are already under contract, you can also tell those agents like, hey, if for whatever reason their contract falls apart, their contract don't go through, let me know because I'm interested in making an offer on it. Okay, so just because the property is under contract doesn't mean anything, because more than half of those properties that go under contract fall out of contract, and so make sure you let those agents know to let you know as soon as the as soon as something different happens and the buyer backs out, so you can because you're still interested in making an offer on it. Let me see here. Richards, okay, said, personally talked to 2 of my doctors, dentists, about paying them 24% with their money secured by real estate. They sounded interested. Well, that's good, Richard. Yeah, that's a good place to start. Okay. Roland said, "What happened to the guy who got his deal?" Let me try to get his YouTube video audio to work here. Uh-oh, what happened? Can you guys hear this?
Hey guys, my name is Patrick Schinzel. I just went through a 10 mice 4-part course in REO wholesaling. I've never done an REO wholesale before, but I tell you what, I just actually put together my first deal, and Tim wanted me to talk a little bit how I was able to do that. So I know Tim kind of addressed 3 primary areas, or 4, excuse me, obviously 4-part series, but one was private lenders, one was buyers, one was sellers, and then additionally just how to do the closing properly. I'd say part 4 was something, when I thought about REO wholesaling, I definitely learned a lot about wholesaling, but I did not know how to get through the non-assignable contracts, and then additionally that the bank controlled the title company. So going through Tim's course really allowed me to understand, how you were able to overcome that hurdle. I actually used his method of a courtesy close. That's how I was able to get through that hurdle of a non-assignable contract in the bank controlling the title company. So that's how I was able to do it. I'll tell you the other part is going out and finding private lenders. I found one person that would lend me enough money to buy that deal in case I wasn't able to flip it. I'm kind of one of those guys. I'm a ducks in the road type of guy. So I was always nervous. Like, what if I don't find a buyer? So I really went out there and worked hard to get somebody on my team that would lend me money in case I didn't close the deal by the time my contractual date to close it came up. So I checked that little component off of the to-do list. Then I went to work on trying to find a home. I do have a software program called RealQuest, and I was researching homes in an area here in Arizona that I know is a very, very hot place for at least retail properties. It's not great for, I guess, landlording properties, but a lot of people want to live in this neighborhood. So I looked at RealQuest initially, and the deepest home that had been bought in this mile radius from the home and a similar square footage in the last 6 months was $109,900, and I put this home under contract for around $86,000. So I didn't have a buyer's list. I've never had a buyer's list. I should have been building one prior to this, but I just kind of threw it up in the air and let faith, I guess, bring me a buyer. I obviously worked really hard at it. I didn't just rely upon strictly faith. I actually made some steps myself additionally, but I went out there and I actually formed a strategic alliance with a couple of the biggest wholesalers down here in the valley. A couple of guys that I really, really respect. So I guess I had to get over a little bit of something that was slightly fearful to me going in because I don't have a great established track record of wholesaling homes in the valley, and so I had to go ask these guys, hey, could you help me market this? I ended up doing that. They bring me multiple buyers. It actually created a little bit of a competitive bidding war for the property, and they bring multiple buyers at $97,000. I ended up finding my own buyer, actually at a lower price, but that buyer gave me a way bigger earnest money deposit, which I liked. So I was going to split profits with the individual wholesalers if they found a buyer, but I decided to take a lower sales price at $92,000 with my end buyer, but he gave me an extra insurance that he was going to enclose by giving me that greater earnest money deposit. So that, I think I covered the 4 different areas that Tim went through. From the closing, I did the courtesy close. How I researched and made sure I bought a good deal. I had the RealQuest professional. I also have friends that are on the MLS, so we made sure that it was a deeply discounted house. That's how I did the research on that component. The buyer I told you how I found my. Actually, I didn't tell you how I found my buyer. My buyer actually came off a bandit sign. I used I went out and stuck out a couple bandit signs out there, and I actually created my own lead and found the buyer that way. But I also formed that strategic alliance, which I think is a great opportunity to get yourself and kind of outsource your buyers list, find a humongous buyers list real quick, going to a couple of the biggest wholesalers in maybe your area. And then the last part is the private lender. Making sure that you got some real money to back you up if you don't find that buyer. That it just gives me that extra level of confidence to go out there and make real solid offers. And so that's how I guess I pursued it. And I just want to say thanks to Tim for all of his great information in that 4-part module. It really helped me out, and I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot. I wish you guys all the best on attempting or getting out and doing your first wholesale. So thanks a lot. Have a good day.
All right. Let me find my email here. He emailed me some numbers on the properties. He got it under contract for. Let me find. Let me see here. He got it under contract for $86,335, and he sold it to his buyer for $92,000, and his buyer put $10,000 in earnest money. So great, awesome deal there. So he made, I don't know there how many. How much? Let me see. If you subtract 92 minus 86, so he made almost $6,000 on this deal. A little bit, I guess $5,465 on this deal. Pretty sweet little deal that he did. Okay. He didn't tell me what the retail value of the property is in his email. Richard, I saw you put 79. Oh, you said that the retail was 109,000. Is that correct, Richard? Okay. All right. So the retail property is 109,000. How did you get that number? I didn't hear him mention that. You must have heard it better than I did. Okay. Oh, he did mention it? Okay. I didn't hear it. But okay, well, good. He did not use private money on this one, so there was no money, he did not have to pay to private lender. Okay. His buyer bought out his interest in the property. Okay, let me see here. Carlos says, that's a great testimonial. Who's next? I'm getting there any day now. Good for you, Carlo. Yes. Okay, let me see here. Richard, you mentioned that you know a lot of CPAs. CPA are great. They're great resources for you as private lenders, but they will be even better resources for you as leads to private lenders, because they have a lot of clients, especially the CPAs that works with people with their pension funds and teach people how to invest their money. Those CPAs have a lot of clients that they can introduce you to for private money. And so, I think for you, Richard, the least thing you should, the least of your worries is going to be private money. Then you can find a lot of them. Okay. Yes, they do know a lot of multimillionaires for sure. Larry said, I have looked at no less than 15 oil properties. Don't know if I'm being too choosy or not. Seems that a lot of properties are running at plus or minus 80% of tax assessed value and are not really that good of a deal. Am I being too particular? Larry, number one, do not shy from a property because of their asking price. If number one, the house needs a lot of repairs, and or the property has been on the market for more than 30 days, the banks are very willing to negotiate those price. And so even if they're asking at 80% of tax value, just make them an offer. Right? Just make them an offer. And I don't, in your area, is the tax assessed value close to the market value? Is it less than the market value or more than the market value, Larry? Okay. Carlo, I think on Patrick's case, I think he might have, he didn't say specifically, but I think he might have sold his LLC or his land trust, one of those to his buyer. Okay. Yes, just put the offer out there and let them say no. That is correct, Richard. Just make your offers. Don't worry about it. Remember, some of these banks, on a normal basis, they might not be interested in discounting a lot. But some of these banks who are in trouble, and we talked about this before, some of these banks who are in trouble, they might be a lot more negotiable, right? So if you look at the, if and so you just never know. You just never know which banks are in trouble with the FDIC. If you don't have that report, then you just who cares? You just make your offer, and if they happen to be one of those banks that are in trouble, then they'll then then they'll accept your offer. Okay. Richard said, Tim, I learned, picked up some stuff on this review that I did not hear the first time. That's good. Good for you, Richard. That's normally the case, Whenever we study something or we listen to something again, we pick up something else, because that's just how our mind works. Because each time we listen to something, our mind focuses on something different. Let's see here. I think I got all of the questions. Did I miss any questions, guys? All right. I don't see any more questions. So if there's no more questions, we're going to go ahead and end this webinar for tonight. And as always, if you guys have questions, make sure you submit it to the hotline area, and I'll answer them for you. And so make sure you. Oh well, Carla has a question here, so I'll answer this before I'll let you guys go. By the way, does adding a buyer and quit claim adding a buyer to the contract and then do a quit claim after closing always work? And the answer is yes. It works majority of the time. The only thing is you have to be careful. If you're in a state like here in Texas, we can't use Texas. We don't use quitclaim deeds, and so we can add the buyer to the contract, and then after closing, we have to sign a warranty deed over to them, not a quitclaim deed. And so but if you're in a state like California where you can use, I mean not Florida where you can use quitclaim deed, then that's fine. You can use that. But yeah, adding a buyer works most of the time. I've never had a time when it didn't work, so I can't tell you that. But I just want to be safe and say it's most of the time. But I think it should be all of the time that that it works. Okay. Larry asks, when submitting an offer, does an offer to buy need to be in contract form? No, you can make verbal offer over the phone to the REO listing agent, Larry. Okay. Richard asked, I didn't understand any of that or what you were talking about. Caller was asking me about another type of closing where the way you can sell your contract to your buyer is by, let's say you have a contract with the bank to buy the property, and so now you found a cash buyer. So instead of double closing, what you could do is you can request to amend the contract between you and the bank to add your buyer's name to the contract as well. So let's say the contract is seller is the bank, buyer is you. Okay, so now you add the buyer. So now the seller is the bank and buyer is you and your buyer. And then your buyer is going to come in and close on the property, and right after closing, you're going to deed your portion of that property to your buyer. Okay, it's just another way of closing. I'll talk more about closing, and I'll explain more about that in I think it's like 3 weeks from today. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, you guys have an awesome evening, and I look forward to talking to you more. Next week we're going to resume on Tuesday. Okay. So next week it's going to be Tuesday again, not Thursday. Tuesday. All right. Bye, everybody. You have a great day. Talk to you guys later.